Inside your spotlight this morning, we have the Honourable Keith Scotland Sc, Member of Parliament for Port of Spain South, joining us to chat a little bit about what's coming up this weekend in his constituency. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic, thank you.
All right, so tell me, what's the plans for the Easter weekend?
Well, the plans are throughout Port of Spain South. It's a beehive of activities. We start on Friday. We have a fun family day at Sogren Trace. Sogren Trace is a new area that the EBC has allotted to Port of Spain South. It's my first, not my first encounter, it's my first major encounter with them in the sense that we're doing something and we're having a family day that starts at 10 o'clock. And that is really going to bring the community together from the top of the hill, Chocolate Alley. We are looking at Gonzalez people. We are trying to invite the community to come out and let's meet and talk to each other. Because my philosophy is if we meet and we talk to each other, we will not want to do each other harm. So it's really something to bring a sense of community spirit. And I'm very excited about that activity in Sogren Trace.
Tell me about some of the activities that will be happening at this family day in Sogren Trace.
We are having football competitions, basketball, netball, and the children will have various activities, including races for the children. And what I would want is we maybe have a little talent show. And we're starting at 10 and we're going until the energy runs out, and that may take that may take us into the night. But when we finish there, we don't stop. We head off to Mango Rose for their family day, which starts at 3 o'clock. And Mango Rose, if you know, is at Piccadilly when you bend just behind the bridge, and that's 3 o'clock on Friday. Saturday morning, we have a one community cup in Sealots. You would know that in the recent past, Sealots has been in the media not for all the right reasons. And we decided that has to stop. So part of it is sports, and sport plays a very pivotal role, I think, in the lives of all communities, but I wanted to play a pivotal role in the lives of the young people of Sealots. So there's a futsal under 19 competition. And what is happening? There are three distinct areas in Sealots, although it's one. There's Production Drive, there's Pioneer Drive, and there's Sealots on the highway, which I used to fondly call, Miss McDonald used to fondly call it Katanga. What we do, I'm having one competition that starts at 10 o'clock at Sealots on the highway, and Pioneer Drive and Production will come across. When we finish that at 12 o'clock, we go across the Pioneer Drive, and then Sealots on the highway and Production will come across to that. And then we move for the next round robin, which will be a Production Drive, and the other two will come across, which is Pioneer and Sealots on the highway. So we get to meet and we get just to interact with each other. And then Sunday, the finals, a grand finale. It will be broadcasted live on TTT, actually, and it's going to be better than the Super Bowl. Yes, we have artists, entertainment, surprise guests.
And this is the finals of the futsal
tournament. That's the finals. So the Saturday is the round robin, the Sunday is the finals. And then Monday, we move up to Picton, where there's their family day in Picton, Straker Village. It's just almost the entire Port of Spain South, the eastern part, where there's activities going out throughout, and I'm part of all.
Are people already registering to be a part of these competitions?
The registration is closed. if it
and what does it turn out like?
The turnout is really from the format is there are 4 teams from each area. That's the first competition. And they will do a knockout one time. So lose and go home. So there'll be 3 teams qualifying, which will the team from Sealots on the highway, the team from Pioneer, the team from Production, and then we'll have a lucky loser, which we will choose to make part of the semi-finals. And the 2 teams will play, then the other 2 teams will play, and then they have the finals on Sunday. It's a simple format, but I think very effective because we want it to be exciting, but more importantly, we want to build the community and the community spirit.
Have you been interacting with the various communities that you would have mentioned for Friday, Saturday, and the weekends events in terms of the futsal as well as the community sports days that you talk about earlier?
Yes.
You've been interacting with the communities to see the feedback on the ground in terms of whether people really want this or not?
They do, but there are also other concerns, but for the Easter, we are dealing with that aspect.
Yeah.
The other aspects, listen, it's really an ongoing work, and it's very Port of Spain South is a vast community, and you know that the interaction is varied. So you have to encourage them, and this is an encouragement because there are other issues, But
well, I was going to say people to me would be nervous or anxious to come out to community days or family fun days when you try to bring an entire community together, when parts of the community don't speak to each other or they feel threatened to walk on a particular street, as the case may be.
That is why the concept of moving across to each part is important. And there's no anxiety, That I said before, and I said that was a media hype that was very unfortunate. It was a really event that was blown out of proportion, and there is a unity in Sealots, and people are moving freely across.
I don't just mean in Sealots. I mean when you talk about the other areas that you're going to on Friday.
The other
as well.
areas that we're going to on Friday, there are issues. That is why.
That's the point I'm talking about.
That is why in Sogren Trace.
Sealots is love. I ain't thinking about Sealots.
Sogren Trace is going to take some work, but we have the infrastructure. I have the will, and I think that the people have I think they want it to happen.
Yeah.
And that is why we're having an entire family day in conjunction with the councillor. And that is an aspect that we have to work on. Because it cannot be, it's a very small community. If you understand Sogren Trace, top of the hill, you go across Chocolate Alley, Gonzales, and that's Sogren. And it's unfortunate what has happened there. I have now inherited that as part of the constituency of Port of Spain South, and I intend to work on it. And that is the second step. The first step was to meet with the people.
Right.
And we were sitting, I think, either it could have been at the top of Sogren Trace or Chocolate Alley. And I said, you know what? Easter weekend, give me a little time, but let's bring this together. And the community came alive. The councillor came up to speed. And this is the first of many interactions that we're going to have in that community.
Now, what would you say to people who are saying that, you're only doing this because it's election time?
I don't understand that. I'm doing this because last year I was in Mango Rose for their Easter celebration. We're up in Straker. That's what we try to do in a community all the time. I think this may have been planned even before election
was called.
Yes, but it was planned during a walkabout, so I may not, I may have gotten the timeline correct, but that was not my major thought at all. My thought was, this is such a small area. And mind you, in Sogren Trace, there are 2 community centers, 4 fields, 5 courts, and a swimming pool. And yet we still can't have unity. That is serious infrastructure for that small area. Did you hear what I said?
So then the challenge may be that it's not the infrastructure is the problem. What is the root of the problem?
I can't understand in an area that doesn't have transients. In other words, in an area people grow up together. It really warrants some digger deeping. And deeping digger into what's happening here, because it's an area that people grew up together, and it's a challenge, but I'm up to the challenge.
All right. Well, I want to wish you all the best with it. You said it kicks off from 10 a.m.
From 10
a.m.
on Friday.
And of course, various activities throughout the entire weekend. So can people from outside the community come and be a part of it?
I would hope that people from outside of the community come and be part of a safe event. I hope that on Saturday, people from outside the community come to Sealots and be part of a safe event. I hope on Friday afternoon, people come out at Mango Rose and be part of a safe event. I hope on Monday at Picton and Straker, people come out and be part of a safe event. You would find that there's a stigma. And in all fairness, sometimes you can't say that it's unfair, because there must have been a basis for it. But we are working on removing that stigma, and I can tell you, Sealots is love. It is safe. There's the fish depot, which is at production. Pioneer, we have some businesses there in the middle. Coming down to Sealots on the highway, there's some work to be done there, but it's a safe area, and I invite the public to come.
Well, Minister, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for doing this work. I wish you all the best with it, and I really hope that it bears the fruit that you're hoping it does.
Well, that makes two of us, because I have faith in the potential and in the spirit of the people of Port of Spain South. I think that we are resilient people, because you know what we get by on and what we do, our talents and our resilience keeps us going, and with assistance, with training, with effort, with communication, with cooperation, because I can't do it alone, and I need the cooperation of all members of the community. And it's such a wide community. I am sure when I come off this stage, I will be hearing from Duncan Street and Nelson Street, well, what we doing?
Yeah, why we
listen, no, it's a conversation that will come.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is so vast and the resources are limited.
Yeah.
But
but they're also invited to come up and be a part of the celebrations
they
that are
are invited, but I have something planned for them, but I can't. If I tell them now, my phone will not stop ringing. So we concentrating on these areas for this weekend,
yeah.
But we are coming to all of the areas. And if that futsal competition is successful in the format that I've just rolled out, well, when?
Yeah, man.
When? I like that. Then we are going to roll it out throughout the community and have a grand finals with the best teams from Port of Spain South displaying. So we're going from the top of St. James, we're going across R. Peter Avenue, we're going from Beverly Hills, we're coming down the road in Foster, Quaverdor, Plaisance, Block 8, Africa. We're going across by Spree Simon, Nelson, Duncan, all those streets, across by Sealots. And the best teams, we bring them together, have a central location, and we have a real good time where we meet, we treat with each other, we understand each other, and in that way we wouldn't want to harm each other. That's the philosophy behind it.
And I get that, you know, Minister, I get that philosophy, and that could work. My concern is oftentimes what happens after, because you might have a nice celebration, you might have a nice tournament, and when it's done, these people still have to go back home, or they still have to go to their no jobs the next day, or whatever the case may be. Because a lot of the things that we're talking about are not rooted in a lack of enjoyment or a lack of ability to play sports. It's what happens after that fun and that enjoyment is done.
I think, and now that you've raised it, that there are enough opportunities for persons who want them to embrace it. There's a ministry of youth, a ministry that has been, you've raised it, so I must engage it.
Go ahead.
That has been allocated for young people, young people alone. That is a ministry that offers so much for the young people. Last week, Tuesday or Wednesday, we opened a youth facility at Basilon Street that offers from everything. It offers hairdressing, mechanics, plumbing, masonry, computer science. Those are opportunities.
Yeah.
MyLab, civilian conservation course. That's for the young people.
So then why aren't they taking it up? Or is it that not enough of them are taking it up?
I think not enough of the young people are embracing the opportunities afforded to them, and particularly for Port of Spain South, I urge them. Not everyone can go to Fatima College.
Of course not.
Not everyone can go to Southeast. Not everyone can go to St. Joseph Convent or Bishops. But there are options there for the people, and I want them to take it so that when we finish playing the football, you have a skill.
Exactly.
And the skill is not to ask, well, we want a government work. The skill is I can provide myself. On Saturday, I hosted at City Hall an introductory program in hairdressing. and it was at 10. It was oversubscribed.
When you
It's
say
the
you
first one.
hosted, you can do hairdressing?
I had my people.
I was wondering.
I hosted. That's the correct word. So I organized it, and yes, I hosted it. I didn't say I did it. I hosted it, and that is a stepping stone because the person's got a certificate.
Yeah.
And out of the 52, what gave me some hope? 20 of the young ladies want to go forward in that area.
Nice.
So that is 20 persons who will be self-sufficient and not dependent on the state to provide them with jobs, but will go out there.
Or anybody else.
Well, I will speak for the state in this regard, but they'll be self-sufficient.
Yeah, that's the important
And the
part.
self-sufficiency, and we don't want everybody to be hairdressers, you know. We want people to do nails, we want people to do cooking, we want them to utilize their skills to be entrepreneurs. And I think that will provide the change of lifestyle, the change of life chances, the change of mindset, that when we finish enjoy ourselves with the tennis, the football, the basketball, the netball, we go home with our skills, and the next morning you come. So what may very well happen, what I want to happen is next time my people say they're partnering with me, meet me halfway, MP.
Yeah.
We are sponsoring half, you come in half. We will do the food.
Yeah, right.
You do the trophies. But if we empower them, and I think that there's enough out there for the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, not just Port of Spain South. I'm talking now to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. And you are, so I must say, done by the government of Trinidad and Tobago. For them, it's a new ministry, Ministry of Youth. And we have a minister who is very passionate about it. And when we opened that facility at Barcelona Street, I was moved to see the young men from Milan who got discipline in their lives and have that military training, which will now spur them onto other things. And I think your other question, it's a serious question. What happens to them now? There's a pathway for them now to be able to join the national security apparatus because they would have had the background training, and they will also have the normal matriculation that is needed to be part of that apparatus. So I'm very happy. And you asked the question, so I answered it. I was going to stay clear of the politics because I don't want you to say I come here to talk politics. But you asked the question,
it's fine,
so I had to answer.
I definitely appreciate you joining us this morning and sharing the information. Thank you so much, and all the best this coming weekend.
Thank you very kindly.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Happy Easter to you and to Trinidad and Tobago. Have a holy Easter. Be safe and enjoy yourselves.
Same to you, Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, MP for Port of Spain South, the Honourable Keith Scotland Sc, joining us this morning to let us know what's happening in his constituency this coming weekend, and you definitely can be a part of it. We take a quick break and we come back with more right here in our morning show. Stay tuned.